That funeral staff is very heavy. A little touch and my skin will collapse, a little brush and my tendons will snap. 5 strokes means certain death for me. Pilgrim said. If you are afraid of being beaten, why do you lie? Elder brother said. 8 rules. It's just this once. I'll never dare do that again. All right, said Pilgrim. I'll give you just 3 strokes this time. Oh father, said. 8 rules. I can't even bear half a stroke. Without any alternative, Idiot caught hold of the master and said, You must speak for me. The elder said, When Wukong told me that you were making up this lie, I would not believe him. Now that it is really so, you certainly deserve to be beaten. But we are trying to cross this mountain at the moment, and we need everyone we can use. So Wukong, you may as well spare him now. Let's cross the mountain first, and then you can beat him. Pilgrim said. The ancients said, to obey the sentiments of one's parents is to perform a great filial act. If master tells me not to beat you, I'll spare you for the moment. You must go to patrol the mountain again. If you start lying and botch things up once more, I'll not spare you from even 1 stroke. Idiot had no choice but to scamper up and leave on the main road. Look at him. As he walked along this time, he was haunted by suspicion, supposing with every step of the way that the transformed pilgrim was following him. As soon as he came upon an object or thing, he would immediately suspect that it was Pilgrim. After he had gone for about 7 or 8 miles, he saw a tiger running across the slope. Undaunted, he lifted up his muckrake and said, Elder brother, did you come again to listen to my fibs? I told you I wouldn't do that anymore. As he walked further, a violent mountain gust toppled a dead tree, which rolled up to him. Pounding his chest and stamping his feet, he cried, Elder brother, why did you do this? I told you I would not try to deceive you anymore. Why did you have to change into a tree to strike at me? He proceeded still further and saw in the air a white-necked old crow, which squawked several times overhead. He said again, Elder brother, aren't you ashamed of yourself? I told you I wouldn't lie anymore. Why did you still change into an old crow? Are you trying to eavesdrop on me again? But this time Pilgrim, you see, did not follow him. He was simply ridden with suspicion and surmise, and we shall speak no more of him for the moment. We now tell you about the mountain, which was named Level Top Mountain, in which there was a cave called the Lotus Flower Cave. There were 2 fiends in the cave, one had the name of the Great King Golden Horn and the other, the Great King Silver Horn. As they sat in the cave that day, Golden Horn said to Silver Horn, Brother, how long has it been since we patrolled the mountain? Silver Horn said, It's been half a month. Brother, said Golden Horn, go and patrol it today. Silver Horn said, Why today? You don't know what I heard recently, said Golden Horn. That the Tang Emperor in the land of the East had sent his royal brother, the Tang monk, to worship Buddha in the West. He has 3 other companions by the names of Pilgrim Sun, Zhu 8 Rules, and Sha Monk. Including the horse, there are 5 of them altogether. Go see where they are and capture them for me. Silver Horn said, If we want to eat people, we can catch a few anywhere. Where can these monks be? Let them pass. Golden Horn said, You don't know about this. The year when I left the heavenly region, I heard people say that the Tang monk is the incarnation of the Elder Gold Cicada, a man who has practiced religion for 10 existences, and one who has not allowed any of his young energy to be dissipated. If anyone can have a taste of his flesh, his age will be vastly lengthened. If eating his flesh, said Silver Horn, can lengthen our age and prolong our lives, what need we to practice sedentary meditation, to arrive at certain attainment, to cultivate the dragon and the tiger, or to achieve the union of the male and the female? We should just eat him. Let me go and catch him at once. Golden Horn said, Brother, you are rather impulsive. Let's not hurry. If you walk out this door and grab any monk that comes along, You would be breaking the law unnecessarily if he were not the Tang monk. I still recall how the real Tang monk looks. Let's have portraits made of the master and his disciples that you can take along with you. When you see some monks, you can check whether they are the real ones." Thereupon had portraits drawn up, and the name of each person was written beside the picture. Taking the sketches with him, Silverhorn left the cave after calling up 30 little fiends to follow him to patrol the mountain. We now tell you about 8 Rules, whose fortune was about to take a turn for the worse. As he walked along, he ran right into the various demons, who barred his way and asked, "Who is he that's approaching?" Raising his head and pushing his ears aside, Idiot saw that they were demons and he became quite frightened. He said to himself, "If I say that I'm a monk going to seek scriptures, they may want to seize me. I'd better say I'm only a traveler." The little fiends reported back to their master, saying, "Great king, it's a traveler." Among those 30 little fiends, there were some who did not recognize 8 Rules. There were a few, however, who found his face somewhat familiar, and pointing at him, they said, "Great king, this monk looks like the portrait of Ju 8 Rules." The old fiend told them at once to hang up the picture so that they could examine it more closely. When 8 Rules saw it, he was greatly shaken, muttering to himself, "No wonder I feel somewhat dispirited of late. They have caught my spirit in this portrait." As the little fiends held up the picture with their spears, Silverhorn pointed with his hand, saying, "This one riding the white horse is the Tang monk, and this one with a hairy face is Pilgrim's son." Hearing this, 8 Rules said, "City Guardian, it's all right if I'm not included. I'll present you with 3 hogsheads, 24 portions of pure libation." Mumbling to himself repeatedly, he kept making all sorts of vows. The fiend, meanwhile, went on to say, "That long dark one is Sha monk, and this one having a long snout and huge ears is Ju 8 Rules." When Idiot heard what he said, he was so startled that he lowered his snout toward his chest and tried to conceal it. "Monk, stick out your mouth!" cried the fiend. "It's a birth defect," said 8 Rules. "I can't stick it out." The fiend told the imps to pull it out with hooks, and 8 Rules became so alarmed that he stuck out his snout at once, saying, "It's no more than a homely feature. Here it is. If you want to look at it, just look. Why do you want to use hooks?" Recognizing that it was 8 Rules, the fiend took out his precious blade and hacked away. Idiot parried the blow with his rake, saying, "My child, don't be brazen. Watch my rake," the fiend said with a chuckle. This man became a monk in the middle of life. "Dear child," said 8 Rules, "you do have some intelligence. How do you know right away that your father became a monk in the middle of life? If you know how to use the rake," said the fiend, "you must have stolen it after hoeing the fields or gardens of some household." 8 Rules said, "My child, you won't recognize the rake of your father, for it is not like any ordinary rake for hoeing the ground. We have here huge teeth made in the shape of dragon claws, adorned with gold and like a tiger formed. When used in battle it draws down cold wind. When brought to combat it emits bright flames. It can for Tang monk all barriers remove. Catch all monsters on this road to the west. When it's wielded, mists hide the sun and moon. When it's held high, clouds make dim the pole stars. It knocks down Mount Tai and tigers panic. It o'erturns oceans and dragons cower. Though you, monster, may have many skills, one rake will 9 bloody holes produce." The fiend heard the words, but he was not ready to step aside. Wielding his sword of 7 stars, he charged 8 Rules and they closed in again and again in the mountain. Even after some 20 rounds, neither appeared to be the stronger one. Growing more and more fierce, 8 Rules began to fight as if he had no regard whatever for his life. When the fiend saw how his opponent flapped his huge ears and spat out saliva, whooping and yelling all the time, he became somewhat frightened. He therefore turned around to call up all his little fiends to do battle. Now, if it were a one-to-one combat, it would have been manageable for 8 rules. But when he saw all those little fiends approaching, he panicked and turned to flee. The road, however, was not very smooth, and he immediately tripped over some vines and dried creepers along the way. As he was struggling to run, one of the little fiends made a flying tackle at his legs, and he hit the ground headfirst like a dog eating shit. The others swarmed all over him, pressing him on the ground, pulling at his mane and his ears, grabbing his legs and tugging at his tail. They hoisted him up bodily to return to the cave. Alas! Thus it is that a whole body bursting with demons is hard to destroy. 10,000 ills arise, they are tough to remove. We do not know what happens to the life of Ju 8 rules. Let's listen to the explanation in the next chapter.